So we shall now go on to our last speaker, Dr. Parikshit. You are not there. I have already introduced you. I'm not going to do it again.
No. Thank you, ma'am.
Some more ways, if there are any left, to address SICS. Yes, he is going to show us one technique.
No, ma'am. So they'll be showing the video, ma'am, or I will be showing it.
Oh, okay, Mr. Sunil.
No. I can share screen and show it. No problem. Can you see the video, ma'am?
Yes, not yet.
No.
You'll have to share your screen again.
Yeah.
Should I do it?
Let's see if I can. Can you see it now, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I have never been.
But it's a blank screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then, sir, I think you do it. Yep. Well, since we were speaking about Patna, ma'am, Patliputra and Patna have always given India its leaders who have ruled India. So I think that says to win ophthalmology also.
My husband used to say that he used to think, I won't say that. Oh, this is on live. Forget it.
No. Okay, this is with the blue menthol technique and a very hard hypermature cataract. Again, one of the good things of doing manual small incision cataract surgery, as Dr. Sudhir said, was we really don't have to worry about how much the cataract is, because most of the time the cataract is removed in toto. The problem with phacoemulsification is, of course, nowadays we have fantastic machines. But if there are very, very hard cataracts, then the power that is needed and the patience and the experience that is needed may not always be there. Like in this is so simple or elegant. You just put in a sheath glide, or then as Dr. Ravindran said, or Dr. Shekhar said, we have what is called as a small assisted surgery. And within a jiffy, something that would have taken many minutes and a lot of sweating to do a phacoemulsification is done in just 3 or 4 minutes. Of course, the incision is much bigger, so the astigmatism will also be much more than what it would be in phacoemulsification. But otherwise, it is very simple. Now, these are old videos, so this was done with a can opener. A CCC or a capsular access is definitely more superior, because we all know that having in the back placement is the best without doubt. But then again, in small pupils or places where you are not sure of getting a good capsular access, it can still be done. Sir, I have one more small video of a small pupil SICS. Could you please show that?
Sunil, there's one more video.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sunil. So a cataract like this, and here it is not the small pupil, if you can see, because it's a complicated cataract, a uveitis induced cataract, even the cornea is hazy. Now that we have capsular staining and trypan blue, it is now, and of course even iris hooks, doing phacoemulsification would give a predictable outcome today. But 10 or 15 years ago, when they were not that easily available, again, small incision cataract surgery would have made the job much more easier. Now, again, this is an old one. Today, I would prefer to stain this, do a proper CCC, because we know that in uveitis induced cataract, having the capsule placed in the bag is very, very important. Otherwise, there are very high chances of getting pupillary capture. And again, many of these nuclei that way are relatively soft nuclei, so they can be easily dialed out. We don't need a very large incision for these cataracts. 6 millimeters or sometimes even less than 6 millimeters is sufficient. And again, without much ado, without having to play about a lot in the anterior chamber, this cataract can be very easily removed. So that way, manual SICS is very elegant, very simple. Of course, the incision size has to be bigger, and this because I have been training for SICS for almost last 20 years. We always tell our young surgeons is the small is perhaps not the most important thing. Perhaps the incision can be slightly larger, but it is getting a very clear cornea. It is having a lens that is placed in the bag and a cortex that is completely been taken care of, which is very important. This happens automatically in phacoemulsification because with automated irrigation aspiration, even the last strip of cortex is removed. With the cap vac vacuum of the phaco, it's very easy to polish the anterior capsular rim, the equator, and also the PC. In manual SICS, the surgeon has to take an extra effort to do that. So yes, the surgery is very fast, but then even in there, we have to spend those 30 seconds or 1 minute extra to polish the capsule, to clean the equator. And well, even though I'm a great proponent of SICS, yes, as far as perhaps PCO rates are concerned, in a properly done phaco, the PCO rates would be slightly lower.
Actually,
And
this was one last question I had. I didn't know you were going to talk about polishing. That's the question I had because I didn't see a single surgeon do a PC polishing. Anterior capsular polishing, I think itself is a controversy. We wouldn't want to do it for all cases, but I didn't see anybody doing it. I was just wondering, the PCO rates are going to be significant.
No, ma'am.
Dr. Saurabh, your thoughts on it? I would want a neutral surgeon to tell, not total SICS surgeon at
ma'am,
all.
I am a 90% phaco
no.
surgeon, ma'am. So
No, we all are doing phaco. Just listen, ma'am. Just last time, your favorite is Saurabh. We won't mind it, but
Saurabh
listen,
is everybody's
something
favorite.
from us. Yeah. You're always like maybe something, but no, we are doing automated IA. We are all doing. There is a great series by Dr. Chang, and that series he's found that the PCO rate is less in the SICS than the phaco, and so many things you can do with the phaco. Is again now this is the phaco versus SICS, not like that. No. But that's why I'm saying, ma'am, just listen to me last time because I didn't get proper time. So in that way also you can do everything because we all have phaco machine sidewise. We can do vitrectomy that machine. So we are also doing with this, and that is the polishing of anterior capsule is controversial again in the if you see the academically. So there are so many things, and the PCO rate is come. I will send you the literature in privately also. Many times we discuss here. So
another reason perhaps for those, I mean, we would expect a lot of PCO in SICS. The reason it is not that much is because of a larger incision, a lot of nucleus and the cortex is removed as it is. Like we would do ECC, so many ECCs. Relatively, if you see in good ECCs, how many people really needed a YAG? I mean, in 1990s, everybody didn't have YAG machines, and
there were no YAG machines.
So there were YAG machines, but
no. When we started, we didn't have YAG machines, and we didn't get YAGs. We didn't get PCOs. It was because of the can opener thing. It was because of the can opener thing. The capsular integrity was not there. It was broken. Thank you, Parikshit, for showing this envelope technique. Because, this, as I was talking before, that, a very simple job can be done even when the zonules are compromised. Like if you choose. The second thing is, if you are disrupting the capsular integrity with a can opener or an envelope technique, the Christmas tree approach is a Lahan technique, and they do surgeries by lakhs.
Yes.
And
with good outcome.
See their follow-ups. PCO is not a eventuality. I mean, every case they use PMMA lenses. So no hydrophobics. So all this squarage, nothing. But PCO is not an eventuality because they destroy the integrity of the capsular bag and each becomes an island. Now, when we do a Rexis, we are actually forming a union territory of India, a federal structure where terrorism in one place will ultimately pass on to the other, you know, because of the continuous link. And that is why the early cells, you know, they migrate, they join hands, and a PCO comes, Chitra. That's my point of view.
I'm not going to argue with you because I don't want to unlearn what I already know.
No, ma'am, that is different. But you can find in on the literature these things are there. The PCO rate with the
PCO rate
even
is
with
not
the
that
PMMA
much
lenses
as
less.
we would expect it to be.
No, with the Rexis, yes. With the Rexis and a PMMA lens, yes. With the Rexis and a hydrophobic lens, I mean, good hydrophobic lens, the PCO rates are comparable with phacoemulsification. If you ask me my honest confessions about the comparison of these two surgeries, so I've done both in quite a big number. I would say inflammation. Inflammation is more in SICS because of the scleral dissection. In a cataract up to grade 3, grade 4. But when it is grade 5 and onwards, where you are using CDEs of more than 36 and onwards 40, 50, the corneal compromise is much more in phacoemulsification than in SICS. The day one cornea in SICS is far better. And the lenses would depend upon what you use. I mean, we have all come to learn that hydrophobic lenses are the best ones for PCOS. So,
Dr. Debashish,
my ultimate take
also has got something to do with PCO formation. And I've seen those cases which I have done 25 years back. They don't have an iota of PCO in them.
True,
Yes,
sir.
I
The
see.
ECCs, we don't have.
So there is a Arvind study of thousands of patients in which they clearly found that PCO rate in the PMMA square age lens is less than the this Alcon Aquis lens. There is in the literature you can find
Dr.
it.
Sudhir,
Yeah.
but the PMMA thing with the with square edge doesn't work because you know it is a whole interplay of the square edge and the capsular fibrosis and the bag, you know, this whole thing, because in hydrophilic also it doesn't work because it is so soft a material that it molds according to the bag and then the early cells find their way through. But in the hydrophobic material, you know, it is resilient enough. It is sits where it is, but not as rigidly as a rigid PMMA lens. And that is where the play begins, which they call the shrink wrap effect. You know, the typical Alcon word of shrink wrap effect.
So with due respect, I want to quote one. There is one article by David Chang. We can learn from the developing nations. A lesson to be learned by developing nations. So this is on internet. Just go through it. You will find there are studies up, and Alcon PCO is more than this PMMA lenses.
An industry, actually, I want to hear Dr. Meghur or Dr. Saurav's opinion. Just a different, this is the debate. Everybody has a right to have views. We are not going to change our views. We are too old for that. But I want one other view on this side because I...
Totally.
Parikshit, you want to say something first?
No, ma'am, there is one type of cataract where phacoemulsification definitely gives a better result than manual SICS, and that is pediatric cataract. Because in pediatric cataract, we really have to clean each and every fiber cell as much as possible, which is possible with the CapVac that is there. And also, secondly, in a pediatric cataract, it is extremely important to put the lens in the bag, for which we need a good CCC, which is always done when you have to do a good phaco. In SICS, the surgeon knows that even if the CCC goes astray, they will still get away with a fantastic surgery, which will not be the case. So
Dr.
in one place, pediatric phaco would be better. But when phaco is not available, SICS also gives good results.
You're right. I just want one other opinion, either Dr. Meghur.
Okay. Deepak.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this debate can go for years also. We can't come to a conclusion. So it's basic to understand that, PCO is multifactorial. You can't just say one capsulotomy or one type of lens or one technique is going to work for all. So in the modern day surgery, what we have realized that whatever the concept of PCO is based upon a perfectly sized rhexis and a unique material. That material is hydrophobic Acrisof or hydrophobic lens. And this induces the shrink-wrap effect. Otherwise, you can't compare the PCO rates of a Canopner technique or an envelope technique with a PMMA lens or a hydrophilic lens to any of these things. So these will be having, we don't have any control data. Each of them will be having those things. So, and depending upon the extent of LE cells that particular person must be having alive at that time. Suppose I would have done a beautiful ECC in a hypermature cataract in a 70-year-old man, where the residual LEC cells are not there to proliferation. Whatever type of lens you put, the PC will not be seen. But that does not indicate that that surgery is good, or that is the reason why the PC has not happened. If I do a hypermature cataract, do a big Canopner technique, and put a big lens, the patient might not develop a PCO at all. But the same technique, if I do it for a 40-year-old man, if I do a same Canopner technique, put a same rigid PMMA lens, I am 100% sure it's going to develop PCO in next 6 months with a decentered lens. So this debate is going to be very, very demanding. It's not going to end. Multifactorial, patient factors are there, surgeon factors are there, and lens factors are there, and technique factors. So all these things have taken care of. Otherwise, just talking on this is never going to end a debate.
True. Very true. Yes.
I will just add 2 points. I think more PCO in SICS is biased because, as rightly said, we use more of PMMA with SICS. I have rarely seen foldable IOL with SICS. Normally, we do phaco for foldable. Of course, if you do good IOLs, then I think PCO will be less. And second thing, I think inflammation part, which Dr. Debashish sir has rightly pointed out, that is my experience, that with SICS, you have to be really meticulous to bring the post-op inflammation down. So what I do is that in SICS also, I use the regular coaxial IA to wash out at the end. So that kind of, because remnant visco is more chances if you use only Simcoe. So you have to be really thorough in washing the visco out in SICS case. That is my personal experience, I think.
Correct. You can implant the lens under fluid also. Under BSS, you can implant a lens even in SICS. So that can be tried.
Yes, 100%. It's been a wonderful experience. I think I'll come with my concluding remarks. It goes without saying that we've had a very wonderful webinar, and I don't know about each of you. I learned so much more about the varieties of nucleus delivery, managing variety of situations, complex situations, and spoken with such great ease. I'm truly indebted to all of you experts on the panel and all the great speakers. Yes, I have to express my special thanks because I had asked Dr. Saurabh Patwardhan and Dr. Megho to help me out in these discussions because I knew they do a good number of SICS surgeries too, and I wanted a completely unbiased viewpoint, the best to be delivered to my attendees. I'm obsessed about that, and thank you so much. Our thanks to Mr. Sunil, our webinar admin, who has been as you can all see, who has always been a very vibrant support. A very special thanks to Kripal, whom you all may not get to see, but he's a very significant role in the administration of AIOS, and his support has always been a big encouragement for me to do more webinars. Our thanks to Sai and Manjula from Numerotech. I'm sure most of you all know there's a constancy in how they support us. My thanks are due to my wonderful ARC team and Satyajit and a bit Srinivas Joshi. I don't know whether he was there. And my very special thanks to Satyajit for doing a wonderful moderation, being a constant. It's like having so many younger brothers with me. That's how they are to me. And finally, our deep felt thanks to all our attendees for their presence. And it's that which encourages us to have more and more webinars. Thank you.